republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call, please.
Dias.
Here.
Covert.
Here.
Crowner.
Here.
Lees. Here. Newberry. Here.
Thank you. On our agenda, I'm going to ask to remove item number one, which was an item that is for not February 18th, but March 18th. So,
Motion to approve with removing new business item number 1.
second. Motion and second. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Our agenda is approved. I would entertain a motion to approve the consent agenda.
So moved. Support.
Motion support. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion approved. All right, let's move into our council and staff reports.
Thank you, Your Honor. Just a couple items tonight. Not for discussion, but just informational. There's 2 pieces on your desk. They'll be in the weekly update as well. Just informational pieces. I saw Marquita, the manager in Bondurant, and she had put this piece together for discussion with legislation. The front page is state-related. Second page is city-related. It's a nice little piece that she had put together. Good information. And then a second piece on just the general property tax discussion that we've been having is on there as well. Just a couple quick items. We received a pollinator seed grant for the prairie. Trees Forever grant came in yesterday, so we'll be participating in that this spring as well. The Water Quality Initiative grant was submitted, so we'll be waiting to hearing on that as well. AARP grant was submitted for the park adjacent to the water quality project at the Trailhead Park. And did an interesting interview with San Diego State University in Blue Zones this week on complete streets construction and greening complete streets, really, as well. Spent a couple hours talking to them. Have some more information to gather from them. So I'm looking forward to seeing that come forward. And let's see. VA is moving along quite nicely. Mark and Jesse are going to be out there probably on a weekly basis here going forward, working with them. And last item, service line warranty program. I mentioned it before. They reached out to me again yesterday or today, and I was going to get back to them if it's something that you'd like me to bring back for consideration or not. Basically, it's a homeowner insurance program for their water and sewer lines, their portion of the line. You have 2 options. The city can take a fee out of that, but typically, or I'd certainly recommend that they simply reduce their rates to the homeowner if we proceed with that. So if that's something you're interested in proceeding with, I'll bring that back from them, and that's supported by the Iowa League of Cities and the National League of Cities. So that's all I have for tonight.
Thank you. Chase?
Met with Schneider this week, and the Pack Line water main project is getting close to being finished design, so it'll be brought to probably in the next meeting to go out for bid. And then where we had that lost water main break on Houston, on the west side of Houston, it's fixed right temporarily, but it did wash out quite a bit underneath the road, and we're gonna have to replace a section of pipe underneath the road. So if the weather stays the way it is or close to it, we're going to be having to shut down Houston in that area for probably about a week to make that repair. And then also on the east side of Houston, we have a broken sewer. It's still flowing, but it needs to be fixed. So also with weather, we'll be repairing that and have to have a section of the road shut down on the east side as well. So it'll be on different weeks, but it'll be in the future. So
Okay. Thank you.
Don't have anything tonight.
Okay. Anything down this direction? No? Angie?
I passed out some different things that are paper clipped together, just some updated information and some numbers and.
We'll touch on it during that, what is,
Okay.
property tax item.
All right. Well, community.
Jesse's on a fire call, so
Oh, okay.
welcome, Nathan.
Kathy, you have anything?
I don't have anything tonight, thank you.
Trees?
No, I'm good, thank you.
Andy?
We had Business of the Year voting, and the winner is, you get to find out on March 19th. So we'll have the special announcement then at the business. We'll meet here at City Hall beforehand. I'll send out invites to everybody in the press as usual. But excited for this year's winner. Should be good. Thank you.
Were you mentioning anything about fireworks?
Oh, by the next one, I'll get the bids in, but I need to know how much I can spend on fireworks this year. So I'll send you the bids of what we did last year, if we can get that on the next agenda to approve the amount.
Probably depending on what you do with property taxes, right?
Yeah. It's gonna be a small show this year.
Ringo?
Your Honor, speaking of Business of the Year, we had Schluter's Automotive as our business of last year, and they had an employee, I'm going to best supply me some information, that was seriously injured while he was not working at his home, and he's married, and he's got 4 children, and he's going to be out of work from 12 to 16 weeks, and they're having this Saturday, they're having a special time that Schluter's is donating all the oil filters, the employees are donating their time, and they're asking people to come in for charity and donations. They've had a lot of good response. They've already got it booked up, basically, for that time period, but you can book it for later on, and they'll accept any donations. So I thought that was pretty awesome. One of the reasons why we have Business of the Year, right? And he's recognizing their employees and helping them out like that. So that's all I've got, sir.
Thank you. Tony?
Nothing tonight.
All right, thank you. I was telling Andy just a few minutes ago that I should probably never be surprised by what people say to me or what they want done. I did have one that I thought was an interesting comment that maybe we should, at least if we hear it, kind of refute, and it was on lift assistance with, they were saying, well, they called and they got lift assistance. It didn't cost them anything, didn't cost anybody anything, the way they were saying it. And of course, we've had discussions about that with our assistants. And I thought maybe it's best just to let people know that if you dial 911, somebody's going to pay for that lift assistance, and oftentimes it's going to be the city. So with that, I'll just move on to our...
Your Honor, can I say one last thing? I should have given the address. Schluter's is at 109 East Mount Pleasant, so it's very easy to locate. So,
just around the corner.
yeah.
Yep. All right. We have a community presentation from Greater Burlington Housing Committee.
Do I sit here?
I think the microphone's there, so while it blocks your view.
Yeah,
We can just turn it a little bit.
okay. Thank you. Good evening, Mayor and council members. Thank you for allowing me to present on behalf of the Greater Burlington Partnerships Housing Committee. So I'm here tonight with Chad Bird, Jeff Burkhart, and Sarah Hecox. We're all on the committee and working hard for our communities, trying to create new pathways for housing. Our committee was formed following the 2023 Housing Needs Assessment, and our goal is to identify practical steps communities can take to support housing development and neighborhood reinvestment. Tonight, we are encouraging 3 focused strategies, and you have information in your packets about these. But number 1 is to strengthen and consistently enforce nuisance and abandoned property ordinances. Vacant and blighted structures reduce property values, discourage reinvestment, and impact safety. So communities like Keokuk and Fort Madison have adopted tools to address these challenges, and the Southeast Iowa Regional Planning Commission has provided copies of those ordinances that can help guide West Burlington's implementation. Number 2 is to prioritize funding for targeted demolition of structures that are beyond rehabilitation. Strategic demolition removes the safety hazards and opens doors for infill housing and renewed investment. We know that West Burlington doesn't have a high volume of these structures, but the few that you do have provide opportunities for new homes to be built in your school district. And number 3, to implement and clearly publicize responsible housing incentives. Construction costs have risen dramatically, and without incentives, many projects simply will not be financially feasible in the markets our size. So we appreciate the work that you've recently done offering TIF to your new single-family home development that's going on. And the committee created the document that you have in your folder that you all can use to either hand out to a developer or put on your website so that they can find it. So our committee will continue to meet and work to discover ways to support and encourage housing development and rehabilitation in the greater Burlington area. We appreciate and value the work that you all do to strengthen West Burlington's future as we all work to grow our workforce, stabilize our tax base, and create long-term economic vitality for our region. So we are just here as a resource and want to be able to help. So if there's any way or any issues that come up with regard to housing, please let us know. Thank you. Does anybody have any questions? Chad can answer them. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Any other citizen inquiries? If not, I'm moving on to old business. Okay. We are just considering a final design for an updated city logo.
You've got, you should have the revised versions, so that we discussed at the last meeting. This is the original one. You've got the one that was modified. Thank you all for coming. I appreciate it. With the modified version, and those are the ones that council requested that we come back with. And then Councilmember Therese had asked Brad to come up with an all-green version that she can hand out as well. But the ones that the council had asked us to come back with, so you've got the original circle version, you've got the original WB version with the larger plant, and the modified version with the different type of grass. So that, I sure hope we can wrap it up tonight. Give us some direction, so. And then, Teresa, I don't know if you want to talk about yours, but it's basically just an all-green version versus
This looks
in
more
lieu of the
black
blue.
and green and green and green.
That's the color you chose, and that's how it prints out.
Oh, it was a Brad.
Not that it can't be tweaked, but that's the version that Brad had provided after.
Probably just prints different color on the
It
printer.
could.
Put it on the
I
screen.
can show you what it looks like on your screen as well.
What's that?
The green, it looks a
Were
little
you
different.
back there napping?
Yes.
Well, lucky you. Good
I
thing I
heard
saw
you.
you woke up. So, you know, when I made you and I twisted your arm because you told me you couldn't do it, but I said you're gonna do it or you're
I
not
told
getting
you it's gonna
paid.
take me a long time.
And I broke your arm probably to make that a green instead of a blue. This,
Well, the thing is print looks a lot different than what it looks like on your screen.
okay, because that looks black and green. You know, from the one that you made for me.
Yeah, well, and that also came off a laser printer. Colors are gonna look way different on a laser printer from what it looks like on the screen, from the green that you chose for the background. Let's see.
Greg, do you have a printed version of the blue?
I think it's in a pile here.
Then you're, oh, yeah,
Of this revised one, is that what you're talking about?
Yeah.
That one?
You should have it in your text message, don't you,
I
Teresa?
just wanted to glance at it on there.
It's like-
Ash, you got it, it just doesn't print the same.
You guys can kind of see, that's what it looks like.
I mean, that shows it.
Yeah, you can see the blue better, just like you can
It
see
shows
the
up
green
clear
better.
on here.
The blue looks almost
And
blackish too, printed.
Yeah.
But it is darker.
And then
yeah.
it's on a laser printer, and so, I mean, your colors are gonna be off, unless we decide to use Pantone colors or something.
I'm gonna be pretty consistent. I like these two versions. Round one first, blue one WB second. So I'm gonna keep my mouth shut. And hopefully we can get a consensus, what
Can
you'd
I
like to
write
do.
that down? You're gonna keep-
I think that's the order I like them in, too. The round one first and then this one.
I definitely like the other one better, the big WB, I think. I don't have a preference either way on the new grass versus the old grass, I don't care. But I do like the green version better than the blue myself. But I'd rather have this big blue one than the circle one. But my preference would be, I don't care on the grass, but the double green version.
After
you
looking
like-
at these three and the one that you just showed me,
Yep.
I like that one better.
You like this one with the
Yep.
dark green in the background?
Yep.
That's the one you just looked
Which grass did that one have?
at. It has the one like trees, but I mean.
New grass?
Yeah.
So,
Well,
Is
and
that-
then
is
on
that
this
number
one, Andy,
two
you could
then? Is that
probably
what it
put your
is on there?
Fireworks here.
No, on there, this one didn't make it because trees came in and had me change the colors later on.
so it is green back there then?
Yeah, so that's a green instead
Yeah.
of a blue.
I like the WB with the green, the two greens.
Do I have a motion of any kind for,
Does anybody else want to say anything?
anybody else want to say anything
I think you just got 3 votes for that, so
for the
I
green?
think you should just call for a vote.
Okay. I need a motion, however. We'd like to approve
Is there a number or a, I don't know.
Option number 4.
option number 4.
John Deere green, blue.
I make a
That's
motion that
offensive.
we do the WB with the green and green.
A second.
All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Okay. Moving on to considering a second reading of an ordinance amending Chapter 156 of the City Code related to building
Are
codes.
you skipping one, sir?
Number one.
Oh, never mind.
pulled-
I'm so
we
sorry.
pulled-
You're right.
We pulled that one.
I did see that.
Motion approved.
Motion is second. Any discussion on this? Second reading? Seeing none, then I'll call for a roll call.
Overt,
Aye.
Browner,
Aye.
Lees,
Aye.
Newberry. Aye. Diaz.
Aye.
Motion carries. Number 3, consider a resolution waiving the final reading of an ordinance amending Chapter 156 of the City Code relating to building code.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Motion is second. Any discussion? Seeing none, roll call, please.
Browner,
Aye.
Lees,
Aye.
Newberry. Aye. Diaz.
Aye.
Overt.
Aye.
Number 4, or if we haven't renumbered, considering the second reading of an ordinance amending Chapter 157 of the City Code related to fire prevention and fire code.
So moved.
Support.
Motion and support. Any discussion? Seeing none, call for a roll call.
Lees,
Aye.
Newberry. Aye. Diaz.
Aye.
Overt.
Aye.
Browner.
Aye.
Motion carries. Number 5, consider a resolution waiving the final reading of an ordinance amending Chapter 157 of the City Code related to fire prevention and fire code.
So moved.
Support.
Motion and support. Any discussion? Seeing none, call for a roll call.
Newberry. Aye. Diaz.
Aye.
Overt.
Aye.
Browner.
Aye.
Lees.
Aye.
Motion carries. Number 6, consider a resolution setting a public hearing date on the proposed property tax levies for fiscal year 2026-27 and amounts as detailed in the proposed tax rate form from the Iowa Department of Management.
Motion to approve with special meeting on April 1st, 2026 at 5:30 PM at a rate of $10.10.
Support.
Motion and support.
What an awesome day to do it on April Fool's Day.
It's
Discussion?
Discussion?
Yeah. So the paperwork is at 10:30, just as a reminder, per our discussion at the last meeting. You can do it at a different amount. She'll have to go back and change the forms. But understanding that. In the packets that you handed out for future discussion, things that you had requested, water rates and examples. The sewer rates are in there as well, with associated examples as well. There is the per penny generation, how much that generates, and I asked Angie to include the amount for just the police officer SRO additional. That would be 13 cents. That's on this form as well, to take on those additional operating costs. And then you have the original property tax breakout, and then the larger spreadsheet, you have residential value with the percentage increase in assessed value factored in, commercial percentage average assessed value increase in industrial, or decrease, excuse me, and then industrial average, I'm going to say this again, residential rollback average assessed increase, commercial rollback average assessment decrease, and industrial average assessment increase. So you'll see, depending on your the use or the type of assessment, your taxes will go up or down. Commercial sees a substantial decrease. Homeowners see a slight increase. Industrial sees a light or a small increase as well. And then, did you do this one as well? Mm-hmm. As well as the updated fund balance spreadsheet as well. That's what you have in front of you as we move through adoption of the budget process, water rates, sewer rates, property tax information.
And what was our date set for? April 1st.
I'm sorry?
April 1st. I personally, I like to have flexibility. I prefer, if we go at 10:10, then you just made the decision at 10:10. I would like to go at 10:30, and then you have the flexibility, which I know we probably more than likely will, go down there. But, I mean, you can't go any higher than 10:30. But if you go at 10:10 and something comes up in the meantime, you never know, then you're there at 10:10. And that's just my feelings about it.
We can always go down from 10:10. So at the current, staying at 10:10, factoring in, and I'm only talking residential, you're going to see a little over a 5% increase in your taxes on average, and 5.16%. And I feel like we have a very responsible budget that we've all looked at and went through that funds all the things we've decided to fund and keeps a fund balance of over 20%. That plans for future years, future purchases. We've done all the things that we've said we want to do and we've planned for, and we have a very low debt ratio. It's a very responsible budget. And we've planned for all these things in the future over years and years, and we continue to put money back. And at this point, I don't have a reason to go over $10.10. And if there's something that could throw us off in this next couple of weeks that we haven't already planned for, then shame on us. We should have done that in our current budget.
That would be more legislative.
And I think we've already done that. There's no way, if there's a major change from from a state point of view, that the amount of cents we're talking and the amount that would fund will make no difference anyway. That difference in raising it up to 30 cents or something will not, if there is a major shift in our budgeting based on what the state does, that won't matter anyway. It won't cover it. So to me, I don't want to go over $10.10. I think during the budget process, we identified, there was $90,000 on one budget line item, $35,000 on another, plus $7,500 in cameras that we reduced. That somehow never seemed to show back up anywhere. Those figures weren't added back to the fund balance or anything when they were removed. And we didn't reduce tax rates based on that.
Yeah,
They were
were.
adjusted, but you got to remember they're from different funding sources. So those were water, sewer, and road use. So those do show up in your fund balance report
Okay.
that you have, and the changes were added back in. So yes,
Okay,
all of those
good.
changes are in your fund balance report. They just don't necessarily hit the general fund.
Okay.
The only one that would have necessarily hit the general fund would have been, and there's a list on the back there.
Well, if we needed
But
to, we
the
could shift part
cameras-
of that vehicle budget
Cameras.
back out of those and save that money in the general fund. If we saved all that money in those, we could move it back over to general if we wanted to, not spend the money out of water and sewer for the truck, the $80,000 each, and move it back into general if we wanted to. But we're still saving that money. And so we don't need to raise an additional $25,000.
I'm not suggesting that.
I know you're
I just-
not.
Right. I just want to make sure, but, so those fund balances were adjusted up or down based on, mostly up, based on all the decisions that the council made. And so the general fund balance has been adjusted to address all the changes that have been made to date. Plus, we finally got the final breakout of insurance, which just had a minor tweak to it.
So I don't see a reason with already a 5.16% increase to me and my neighbors to then go, well, we know we've funded everything at this tax rate. We've made this whole budget and planned for all these things. We've sat here for all this time and done this. But just in case we didn't think about something, we're going to maybe raise your taxes even more. So I'm at $10.10. I don't have a single reason to go over that. We've planned and have a very strong, responsible budget, and that's where I'm at.
So residential is an increase at the 1010. They do have an increase spent on your value. Commercial sees a substantial decrease. Industrial sees an increase when you look at that across the board. The only thing I'm suggesting is from an operational perspective, and that's why that 13 cents is on that 1 penny sheet, and that's for the increase in cost in a police officer in the general fund, because that's an operational cost. Rather than taking that from the fund balance, I'm suggesting that that be covered by property taxes rather than through fund balance, because it's not a one-time expenditure. That'll be an ongoing operational expense. And that's the only thing from my perspective, from a discussion perspective, that's why that spreadsheet is on there. If not, but all of the adjustments have been made, and you can see that in the fund balance spreadsheet, just to be clear. So with that, turn it back over to council.
Any other discussion?
I guess I'm a little old-fashioned. I like to be cautious until the last moment. That's just me. But I feel like that's the reason why you have the open discussion with the public, too, when you set that date, you know. I mean, obviously, I have no intentions of going 10:30, unless something drastic, something changes, but I just feel that I don't want to make that decision right now. I'd rather wait till that date. So,
If I'm correct, a few years ago, we didn't have to do this particular step in the budget
Max,
process.
no, this is, yeah, it's been in one place, is it 3 or 4 years now? The max, with House Bill 718,
Yeah.
max levy rate change, no, we never used to have to do this. You had maximum flexibility up and into when the property tax levy was set. This is one in many steps that have been added to, in my mind, simply complicate the process and make it less, what's the word I'm looking for?
Almost less transparent.
less transparent, that's perfectly, I guess, the word. I think these additional steps make it less transparent. But that's my personal opinion.
There's no more discussion. We will have a roll call vote on this.
This is to publish it
10:10.
at 10:10.
Yep.
Well, I just want to make one comment. Even if we make it 10:30, we have no intentions of going above 10:10.
Didn't say that.
I
Have no intention of going to 10:30. Sorry, Kathy, I didn't mean to
No, you're
interrupt you.
fine. You're absolutely fine. I'm just more apt to publish this at a little higher rate, maybe not 10:30, due to this sheet alone. Because it ties our hands at 10:10. And our experts here are telling us, in their opinions, we should go a little higher than that. So that's my opinion on it.
And if we publish this at 10:30,
You can go lower.
you can go.
We can always
You can
go
go
lower,
lower.
as I think we all intend to do, which is why I think maybe 10:30 is not the answer either, if we want to rediscuss that, but
Well, if this is defeated, that's where we'll go. All right?
Newberry? No. Diaz?
No.
Overt?
No.
Crowner?
Aye.
Lees?
No.
Motion is defeated. I would entertain a motion for another amount.
My motion is the same except for 10:30, the same date.
Support.
Motion and support. Discussion on this item? Roll call, please.
Diaz?
Aye.
Overt?
Aye.
Crowner?
No.
Lees?
No.
Newberry? Aye.
Motion carries. Moving on. Number 7, consider a first reading of an ordinance amending Chapter 165 of the City Code related to zoning or regulations.
Motion approved.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Motion is second. Discussion?
I have quite a bit I'd like to go over. I apologize. And if we want to do this another time, I'd be happy to come in. I know from the beginning of this, and we've had a dozen rounds, I've always commented there are a lot of just general English issues with this document. Things that are not punctuated correctly, things that are not capitalized correctly, things that are called out as, they're defined as one thing, and then in the setbacks, it's slightly different. I think somebody needs to take a full pass through both of these documents and make sure that the wording is correct and things are capitalized correctly, kindergarten spelled right, et cetera, because there's a lot of errors. So I'm not ready to pass this yet tonight because there's probably 250 of those errors, I mean, a lot. So let me say that first, and then let me talk substance for just a minute. There are some issues with anything that was added about data centers that I think we need to look at, especially as hot of a topic as these are. It's defined in here 2 different places, and I think, number one, that's confusing. And only 2 of the 4 things are defined. So data center or computing facility is defined up top, and there's also a section that defines let me find it here, a high-use one, however it's stated in there. Those 2 things are defined, and one of them's defined twice. And then as you get down into the code, there's sections about low density and medium density, and those things are never defined. So I think the whole data center part of this, we need to go back and make sure that we're defining each thing that we're setting code about, and then only define it once. And then I think you need to look at the general definition that you're giving data centers Because I think you'll find like where Imons has their servers stored here locally, I think will not be able to be where it currently is based on this code. I also think anything that has to do with our phone systems and little small terminals that they have, since this doesn't define any sizes, any structures they have that have computing equipment in it would not be allowed. So I think we need to define those things better, especially with everything going on with data centers today. So I'd like to take a look at that. And then there's just a few sections, like real estate signs can only be 4 square foot. Well, all of our signs are now bigger than that. They're all now 2 by 3. So I think that would need adjusted. There's some sections around like the native prairie plantings where the formatting is not correct. There's a section H and an I that are not defined. They actually talk about section G, so they need to be subsections underneath that. We don't define a parking lot, and so under this current code, a residential home would have to have parking islands. So I think we need to take a look at that section. And then there's a lot of times where, in the beginning, studio and efficiency apartments were added up top in the definitions as a subsection of apartments, but just the indentation's wrong. That's the data center is the part from a substance standpoint that I think we need to look at. Everything else, I think, just needs an English teacher to go through it and take a look.
There's a lot of things going on with data centers. There's some cities that are doing moratoriums on data centers until some of this can be cleaned up, which may be a route to go as well. Even if we choose to pull that section out or do a moratorium, some type of moratorium on data centers in general, but there's a whole lot of discussion going on data centers. We had a conversation this afternoon with Justin with, it's not Muni Code, it's
Iowa codification.
Iowa codification, that is our code book as well. And just to update the code for the zoning ordinance and the subdivision ordinance is going to be several $1,000s just to do that portion. Our code hasn't been recodified since 2011, 15 years. And he identified a couple of the items you mentioned tonight, in his preliminary review. There's something else I wanted to mention. So a couple things. One, I think it'd be appropriate to postpone, obviously, the action and take a look at your list. But I also think it'd be beneficial working with Iowa codification. Iowa codification, and Justin on doing just a complete recodification, which would incorporate the zoning and the subdivision piece while we do that into the book, so we're saving money overall. And have them look at the code, and then also the numbering system and cleaning that up with the subdivision and zoning ordinance. So I think there's a couple different things that we can do. We asked him to put together what the cost to do an entire recodification would be. 16 years is a substantial amount of time to not look at your code book. Not that we haven't been working with them and keeping up with our ordinances, but things change, and it probably makes sense to take a comprehensive look at it. And then we could include the zoning and subdivision piece in those costs without having the additional separate expense of doing them on their own. So I would concur, let's just simply table the matter rather than to a date certain. Take a look at the list and see what Justin comes back with Iowa codification as well, which may be a good way to proceed. They would also be an independent third-party set of eyes, and not just this section, but on the entire piece, and he noticed the numbering as well. He would be able to address that numbering as part of that as well, so.
I agree, and I appreciate, Andy, that you're going through so thoroughly like you have, because I know this is not the first time you've done this, and you've gone through this, and to bring to everybody's attention. I'm not that familiar with the data centers, but it is becoming quite the topic lately, and trying to get myself educated enough to know more about them myself. So thank you very much for doing that.
While we're on data centers, just an FYI, and I heard the mall was under contract, but there was a advertisement, or listing, I guess, that indicated that a data center, the mall was zoned for data centers, and that's a generic term, I'm using it generically as data centers, and that the city supported that, neither of which are accurate. It is not zoned for data centers. There could be a small component piece, like you mentioned, for perhaps as an accessory use for something small that could fit in there, but if so, it would have to be a special use permit. There's nothing that's allowed automatically under our zoning ordinance, either current or new, that would allow for a data center at that location, and nor does the city support that as it identified in that listing. I have an email from them indicating that they were going to remove that and stop promoting it essentially as that, but then I heard that it was under contract as well. So but I have no idea by who, for what, or any of that information so far. So just to be clear, it is not zoned for a data center in either version of these codes.
We've been working on this thing a long time, and I want to keep it moving, especially because there's some setback things that I think would help us get some land developed.
Yep.
And I'd be happy to come in and go over the documents and whatever needs to be done to get it updated, but it's a little sloppy how it is today, and I'd like to see it cleaned up before we finalize it.
We'd appreciate it. Sounds good.
Well, at this point, would someone like to make a motion to table this?
Make a motion to table it until we have further information and clerical errors.
Second.
Motion second. I don't think I need a roll call on a tabling motion, so. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Item number 8, consider the first reading of an ordinance repealing and replacing Chapter 170 of the City Code related to subdivision regulations.
Same thing. I'd recommend tabling it.
Yeah, motion to table.
Support.
Motion and support. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. All righty, we have 2 items left. Consider a resolution setting wages for swimming pool staff and authorize city administrator to hire staff for the 2026 pool season.
Motion.
Support.
Motion and support. Discussion?
I'm just surprised you made the motion.
Well, I support employees, and I think, and I'm encouraged, I'm encouraged by what's, talking to Kathy, what's gonna happen, and, I think, let's go through it, so.
Okay, roll call, please.
Lees,
Aye.
Newberry,
Abstain.
Diaz,
Aye.
Overt,
Aye.
Crowner.
Aye.
Thank you. Motion carries. Number 10, consider the purchase of mobile radios for the fire department from Business Radio.
Motion to approve.
Support.
Motion and support. Discussion? No? All right. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. At this point, I would entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
Motion second. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
We are adjourned.